allow the children to the budget. It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. She off your mind. Like me.
Chai! Now wow, people wey supposed talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. He go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Can in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not they off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Poor man picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make you shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Hello there.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ará yìí.
Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Maiyegun live.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Bó bá ṣe àní Maiyegun máa wí.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun diary, diary Politico.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Thank you so much for joining me from wherever you are watching from. You know what you should do. Share the broadcast. Invite your friends. Invite your not so friendly friends. Just tell them, Maiyegun today.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Maiyegun today.
Immediate. A pampas is back.
Maiyegun today.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Maiyegun today.
Lórí Facebook.
Maiyegun today.
And Innocent Obi, my brother, how are you?
YouTube.
Maiyegun today.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Maiyegun today.
Bọ́bá bá gbé wúrẹ́.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Maiyegun today.
Níjó ìgbádìí yẹ.
It is true that The culture minister for Tinubu is also a serving COP member in the NYSC, something that should be illegal. Tonight, you also get to know that Tinubu has sent the last emissary to Niger Republic with the same message they've been sending all this while. Reinstate the removed president, or we will invade Niger Republic. The last batch left yesterday. So good morning to you once again, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. If you have taken your time to read the caption of the broadcast, read the description, which is mainly what we are likely going to talk about if the time permits. So if you have done all of that, like the broadcast, shared it, yes, we can start. The last time a lot of you heard about Lamidi Apampas was when he came and said that everyone approved as candidates under Abure will lose their seats if they win any election. For now, a lot of people focused on the intended or probable damage or damages that Lamidi Apampas, as well as Arabambi and the rest of them. A lot of you are focusing on the damages they will do to Peter Obi, not possibly focusing on the damages they are already doing to those who managed against all odds, right, to beat the supposed veterans in the Nigeria Charade election of 2023. I'm talking about those who won state assembly elections, reps elections, and senatorial elections. They are being removed by the tribunal as you are watching this, one by one. And guess on what premise? They are removing them on the premise of illegal, or I wouldn't call it illegal, wrong nomination. The crisis of who is the chairman or not chairman, which ESCO is the right or not, is already playing out on those who won their elections then are already becoming victims, because you see those who lost, genuinely lost, PDP, APC, they are presenting the crisis in Labour Party as an excuse in the tribunal, and the tribunal is shutting people out and they are kicking them out. A lot of them are waiting for appeal courts to final rule and all of that. So talking about the damages that Lamidi Apampas and the rest of them are actually doing, and then focusing on just your presidential election tribunal is going to be like, in my own book, it's like ignoring a part and focusing on one. The damages is being done gradually until a lot of you will wake up and realize that Labour Party, obedient, Labour Party have no senators, they have no reps, or possibly they have no assemblies as well. You currently have a state governor in Abia State, Alex Otti, right? You may wake up tomorrow morning because of all these Apampas and their crew, what they are doing, and they might tell you that, well, it's not that Otti didn't win, but what happened is that because of his nomination. The drama, when I told you about the avoidance, if you can, to avoid any chance of giving Nigeria Judiciary a benefit of the doubt, the damages they are doing is even worse than that of INEC. And because they all work hand in hand, eventually, the establishment wins. That by crook or book. I don't believe in them because I have seen a lot happen through them that are pretty much like a product of a corruption, unexplainable judgment and all that, right? And that's exactly what is playing out. as we speak. So the High Court, Lamidi Apampas and his crew from the Blues surfaced after they told Peter Obi to withdraw his case against Kolu in court. Remember, it was offered. It was the first person to be offered the government of national unity. They asked him, would you like to just bring your men to join Tinubu and avoid all these court cases? After they told you to go to court, if you are not happy with the result of the election. So they turned into withdraw your case in court. We don't need to be in court. Don't cause problem in Nigeria. Okay? Don't do what they did to MK or Abiola, blah, 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 nonsense. Well, all of that didn't work. Apampas surfaced. Lamidi Apampas took Abure's exco to court. Okay? He took them to court in the sense that he said, Abure forged the signatures of other exco members when he was admitting Peter Obi and the other obedient into Labour Party. That not all of them signed the waiver. So he accused Abure of forgery, which according to him, his own group, 5 of them, they have suspended Abure. He should no longer parade himself as a chairman. That was the genesis from the Blues. So they went to a court and they asked the court, an high court, that they should give them a sort of a court order. You know what I mean? A sort of a court interim order that will stop Abure from parading himself as a chairman of Labour Party based on allegation of forgery. The court granted that, and the media flexed on that. A day or two after the court said Abure should not parade himself as chairman of Labour Party, Apampas took over the media. He started dishing out different orders that are pretty much in tune, like a script written for him. Number one, he said, every one of Labour Party's candidates in the tribunal fighting for their elections, he wanted all of them to report back to him and come and brief him and their lawyers. He also ordered Peter Obi and his own lawyers to see him before they continue the court case, because he is the chairman in position to give the go-ahead of such. Why? Well, the drama continues. After about 31 days, sometimes in May, Apampas was finally told that, they went to appeal court. That's actually the story. They went to appeal court. That's Abure. Then the court finally said, okay, yeah, the status quo can now be maintained until determination of the case. This was in May. Right. Because the lawyers who were at the tribunal fighting all Labour Party cases did not report back to Apampas, he went to court himself. He wanted to sit where the party chairman sits. He wanted his crew to sit where the litigants were sitting, which is Peter Obi and others. And the drama didn't go down well with a lot of obedience who have been following the development. Like, who is this person? Why is he doing all of this? Suddenly, this group of charlatans, they have senior advocate of nuisance and nonsense as their lawyers. They have the media, the top prime time on different platforms in Nigeria to speak more on it, right? And then the APC, Egbekegbe, personally, unsurprisingly, they supported Apampas. And we're like, what's going on? So it was obvious. So people were kind of tensed. So the last time we saw Apampas, when people felt like, is this you this old man? This is what happened. Mhm. And that was in May 2023. Remember, they were still in court. The court already told him, right? He had no legal standing to even claim to be the chairman of Labour Party. But because the court said status quo should remain until determination of the case, he went to court to cause that, that pandemonium and all that. Then after that, he went back to that same tribunal once, sat somewhere quietly, and then disappeared. Surprisingly, a month after that, or 2 months after that, sometimes in July, the court now ruled that Abure, this time around, an appeal court, okay? What am I even saying? It's actually this particular month, August. So the court now ruled that Abure is their authentic chairman, appeal court. 10 days after that, another appeal court in Imo State, Owerri, delivered another judgment. I mean, they were supposed to go to Supreme Court, I think, after appeal court. You don't go to appeal court after appeal court, Abi? But it is APC, Egbekebe. The purpose is not to do anything legally. It is to do everything illegally, right? And force you to go and look for legal ways of fixing it, and you may never find it. Okay? So, breaking news. Appeal court in Imo Owerri ruled that Lamidi Apampas and Abure Labour Party case status quo must be maintained. What does that even mean? Judiciary, Nigeria Judiciary. They know what they are doing. You can buy judgment from anywhere. It depends on which judgment are you looking for. In this instance, right? Jankara court, Jankara judgment, Jankara judges. There are so many in Nigeria. In fact, these 5 justices that are currently sitting on the presidential election tribunal, they all have the baggages of corruption, Jankara judgments. So I don't know where that is coming from. For those of you who cannot believe that they will do the right thing. No, they won't. They're going to get you more upset. And that is why they are kind of releasing other religious bodies, other statements to begin to tell you to calm down. It is the establishment, ladies and gentlemen. So, as you would have it, again, Lamidi Apampas' first statement after the Owerri Jankara judgment was to send a warning to Peter Obi. According to him, Peter Obi doesn't recognize him or respect him. The way Peter Obi treats him, it treats him like he's a nothing. And it doesn't feel cool about that. And now that another Jankara court in Owerri, I've said that status quo should remain, whatever that even means. Just like he did way back in April, Lamidi Apampas has issued a very, very strong stand warning to Peter Obi that if he sees him with Abure again, Peter Obi will be suspended and dismissed. And let me give you this background story, a quick one. When the drama for Lamidi Apampas was to start, I sat here on this same seat and I kind of played out the scenario, how it was going to go, and exactly how it was described that it played out. I remember telling you that the first attempt will be, 1, to suspend all of the Labour Party's excos. They will dismiss all of them. That will be the beginning. The second phase will be to suspend Obi himself and withdraw his case from court. But it can't be like, say, the Peter Obi that some of you said you know, also knows this guy, because along the line, the intention was remove Abure by all means, remove his ESCO by all means as well, then go for the broke. As the party chairman, if the party writes the tribunal and say they are no longer interested in any case, in what this Apampas did in Rivers State, by the way, he did it. He wrote the tribunal in Rivers State to tell them that the lawyers representing Labour Party governorship candidate there did not come from Labour Party. Therefore, Labour Party want to withdraw the service of the lawyer, withdraw the case. They wrote to a few other tribunals like that. This Apampas. But one thing that kind of seems to have shocked or sort of surprised all of them is that in 2003, 2004, when Peter Obi was the lone APGA governorship candidate in Anambra State, Anambra was very much popular for the thuggery, the godfatherism that pervaded their politics at the time. It was like the godfathers were even more powerful, popular than the sitting governors in Anambra State. So he came from from the blues. Then he got rigged out just like this. He went to court. When he was in court, I'm just trying to give you the context of somebody with such experience, ended up having to make it difficult for the guys who cooked this Apampas package, kind of, right? While he was in court for about 2-3 years. While he was in court, his own political party that sponsored him rejected him. Why? Because they wanted to take appointment from the PDP government of Anambra State, led by Chris Ngige at the time. Meanwhile, Ngige was just like a small dog. I'm talking about Okija Shatabandu. Now, he had this leech on his neck, held by the Uba brothers. Everybody knows about that. Everybody knew then. But it was come and shop by chop, kind of a thing. So they told him to withdraw his court case against the godfathers were saying they should tell him how much he wants. They will pay him. He should withdraw his court case. His own political party, APGA, at the time, very new, their own executive started pressuring this same guy, Obi. At a point, a section or a faction of them actually came out to suspend Obi and said he's not a member of APGA anymore because of the appointment and whatever they wanted from PDP then. It didn't last. About 3 years into the whole drama, the court said Peter Obi was actually their governor elected. Now the drama changed. Obi had no assembly, he had no anything, local government, whatever, he had nothing. So when he came in, after 3 months or 4 months, they started the impeachment process against him. Just like people predicted, they will impeach him. The godfathers will remove him, except he quickly joined the PDP at the time. Indeed, they removed him. Do you know why they removed him? They removed him because before he came, there was already an approved budget, okay, for a new governor's house, government secretariat, and all those things. And in his own usual way, on record though, he cut down whatever they put together as budget by over 60%, and that infuriated them. Who the hell do you think you are? So they started the impeachment process against him. So they removed him. When they removed him, then his deputy was substantially like sworn in as the first female governor in Nigeria, Veji Etiaba. So quickly, but to avoid defeat or what befell Peter Obi, she decided to slow down, allow them to have whatever they wanted, approve whatever they wanted for them, to the point that she was already being touted to be the candidate of ABGA in 2007 election. In fact, I think she actually stood for the election, right? While they were still kind of that, Uba brothers, they no longer wanted to be godfathers. They decided to take the reign themselves. Chris and Andy. So Andy became the governor-elect, while Obi was still challenging his own removal as governor. So what happened? Andy Uba got removed. Obi got in. And the godfatherism in Anambra State died a natural death. Even Obaino and his wife, who tried to bring that back, didn't succeed. So people are now saying that if the likes of Apampas and their crew didn't do their homework well about this guy, then those who invested on them, or those who put them together, like APC, Egbekegbe, that is kind of obviously backing him, they did not do their homework well. I mean, when for those who wanted to kind of be honest when they say it, okay? But however, me, somebody like myself, who is kind of call me pessimist, somebody who is always not going to believe, even if they hit their head 10 times on the ground to show that, you know, they are what they say they are. I'm talking about the judiciary. I will never believe them. But it's just going to be like, I haven't been in that shoes. It's just going to be like 2003, all again for somebody like Peter Obi, when everybody felt like this is actually impossible. The judiciary is so corrupt that forget it, and blah, 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 blah at the time. So for somebody like him, it's just going to be like, well, nobody believed that they could be having different governorship elections in Nigeria, not like having it like generally like everyone else. The guy who started it believed that it can also alter the presidential election calendar. And those who told him that it's impossible back then, right, they all lived and witnessed him spend 8 years as governor of Anambra State. I mean, just track record to Shebao. So yeah, it won't be new if you read it in your newspaper tomorrow that Apampas have suspended this. Or, I mean, it is too late now to withdraw the case. Isn't it too late to withdraw Obi's case now? The judiciary will just have to do what they have to do. Front or back, it doesn't matter anymore. So whatever Apampas now came back and said, now that this Labour Party started going about to tell people that, wait, we are waiting on the tribunal, okay? But before the tribunal make their decision, you also need to continue to keep the momentum and remove these criminals from your own different state. That's their campaign. Oh. In Imo State, it seems that they are already making big wave and they are becoming a big threat to Uzodingba. You get that? In those states, they are pushing enough that, well, you know, it's more or less like Edo is their headquarters anyway. So it will take a lot of a rigging machine, right, to actually sort of rig them in Edo. And the same thing is also almost everywhere. Now, Apampas has come out and said, listen, it is only the governorship candidates that I approve that will contest elections. So which means in the coming days and all the dramas that will follow, Apampas is back. And their intention is not to, you know, is in no way to help your democracy. It's actually to further destroy it. Which, well, you finally destroy everything and everybody comes to their senses that this fraudulent democracy is not yours. It is, what do we call it again? Not just kakitocracy. There is another name for it. Kleptocracy, where criminals, or criminaltocracy, well, where the criminals are now in charge. This morning, somebody sent me a message and he said, Maiyegun, where why is Tinubu keeping this guy? Like normally, if somebody is arrested, you should be able to say, this is why we have arrested him. I said, well, they kept him away so that they could finish or finalize the installation of criminals into every other institutions that are still kind of yet to receive the renewed renewed fraud that they brought upon you. I'll come back to that guy because he is also a criminal, by the way. But I wish they could say that and say, yeah, we are keeping him because he's a criminal. Fortunately, he's been kept away right now, yeah. And Tinubu and his gang, they are already flexing the power of, the power of the state capture, put it that way. Do you know what happened in Kano? Remember Gandola? Abi? Yes, Babariga Mobile Banking CEO of Kano, Gandola. Yeah? He is being investigated by anti-corruption agency that is set up in Kano. Of course, Kano has an anti-corruption agency. Now, the anti-corruption agency is now investigating that video. He was invited for questioning. And since Kolu has made him the chairman of APC, Egbekegbe, right now, the chairman of the anti-corruption agency in Kano has been invited by the EFCC in Abuja. Okay, the investigation of Gandola, the former governor, has now led to the investigation of the investigator. Do you understand? So EFCC under Kolu has now invited the chairman of anti-corruption agency in Kano to come and give account of all of the money paid to the agency since 2016, including all of the procurement receipts and the bank accounts of all their contractors since 2016. They want him to come to Abuja. They also want him to send the secretary of the agency. They want him to send the accountant of the agency. They want them to send the auditor of the agency and the chairman of the agency. They want all of them to resume in Abuja on the 28th of August because they were investigating Gandola. Play that song again. They get one guy will sing this song, right?
Man, see there for jail. Politician way in the probe don't enter for power. EFCC chairman, still there for jail. Politician way in the probe don't enter for power. EFCC chairman, still there for jail. Politician way in the probe don't enter for power. EFCC chairman, still there for jail. Politician way in the probe don't enter for power. If you do government work, you no carry am for head, you. Maka one day I got Bokwagi na my own. In another government, you hear why you one day more. One day I got Boggy na my own. Yes, the German, no there for jail.
Politician where the probe don't enter for power. Responding to yes. Responding to Lamidi Apampas antics, a group of the secretary of Labour Party had this to say to the media in their own words. Ladies and gentlemen.
Alhaji Umar Farouk Ibrahim. Today, Friday, 25th of August 2023. Gentlemen of the press, this conference is called purposely to clear the air on yet another attempt by some of our former members who have rebelled against the party and who have gone ahead to shamelessly misinform members of the public on the huge progress being made to position Labour Party as one of the biggest political parties in Nigeria. As you already know, the party surprised many Nigerians with huge success it achieved during the last general election. The party became a household name. All the MB are all to the envy of the older political parties. You also know how the ruling party forced itself into power at the expense of the Labour Party and the general public who have voted our candidate massively. We are still in the tribunal challenging both the process and the outcome of the presidential election. In order to ensure a subjugation of the Labour Party, the ruling party has deployed all manner of strategies to stifle the party, part of which was to sponsor insurrection among some suspended former national officers, which is led by Lamidi Apapa and few others. Their assignment was to ensure that no progress is achieved in the party. The heavily funded dissidents have tried to mislead the court and some section of the media to harass the party leadership, but all have failed. Only recently, the Court of Appeal sitting in Benin City affirmed Barrister Julius Abure as the substantive national chairman of the Labour Party. Yesterday, the Court of Appeal, Owerri, which sat in Abuja, while giving judgment in the case brought before it by one Basil Maduka, one of the two aspirants that were deceived by the Apapa camp to participate in their illegal primaries, also ordered that the status quo remain with Senator Atan Ochunu as the validly nominated candidate of Labour Party for the 2023 Imo governorship election. It also noted that Basil Maduka has no locus to seek redress in the court as he is not known by the party. For emphasis, you may recall that Apapa Group had hoodwinked and arranged governorship primaries for two members of the Labour Party, namely Chief Okaigbo Ikechukwu and Samaduka, after which Okaigbo won the contest. Maduka was picked by the outcome of the fake primaries and had gone ahead to challenge the emergence of Okaigbo. He sued both Okaigbo and the Lamidi Apapa. Meanwhile, the Labour Party appealed the Bayelsa court, ruling on the ground that it lacks the jurisdiction to entertain a suit filed by the Apapa camp without putting the leadership of the party, which is known to law, into notice. Senator Achunu, who was also not a party to the suit filed by Samaduka, but on hearing about the matter before the Federal High Court, sought to be joined as an interested party. However, the Court of Appeal re-emphasized the implication of lack of jurisdiction in motion for leave to appeal as an interested party and held that the motion was filed out of time, hence it lacks jurisdiction. It is a tried principle of law as held by the Supreme Court of Nigeria in plethora of cases that where a court lacks jurisdiction to entertain a matter, it has only one duty, which is to strike out and or dismiss the case. Any other thing said or done by it, no matter how beautifully conducted, is null and void ab initio, as you cannot put something on nothing and expect it to stand. This was restated by the court.
Anon. Because we still have a lot to talk about, by the way. But that was them saying because of the abracadabra primary elections in Imo State, they decided to get a Bayelsa court to give a judgment that said status quo. The status quo they are talking there is you took people to court and they were not notified, right? They were not notified that they were in court, and you gave that's what they do. That's what they normally do. Interim order, so that they can hold you back for just few months. All right. And if you are not smart enough, it can last for like year. So then they would have done whatever they want to do. By the time you finally get it lifted, the deed is done. It is a political gimmick that the criminal politicians and the criminal judiciary in Nigeria, Jankara judges, are always very much handy. How does that help your democracy, by the way? I'll do a quick detour. Olórí ibu ni wọ́n.
Olórí burúkú ni wọ́n aládẹ̀wò. Ẹ kórí burúkú ẹ bá Nàìjíríà jẹ́. Ráìsì wọn, ráìsì di 1-3, foreign rice tá a tún wá ń jẹ yìí. Ó sì òun lẹ̀ ń jẹun, òun dájú táwọn ń jẹ lọ. Kò ní jẹ yan, ó palẹ̀. Ó dàbẹ̀ kórí.
Wọ́n sọ tó ké kí ló tọ́lẹ̀
kan. Wọ́n sọ pé wẹ̀rẹ̀. Olórí burúkú ni wọ́n aládẹ̀wò. Ẹ kórí burúkú ẹ bá Nàìjíríà jẹ́. Ráìsì wọn, ráìsì di 1-3, foreign rice tá a tún wá ń jẹ yìí. Ó sì òun lẹ̀ ń jẹun, òun dájú táwọn ń jẹ lọ. Kò ní jẹ yan, ó palẹ̀. Ó dàbẹ̀ kórí.
Wọ́n sọ tó ké kí ló tọ́lẹ̀.
But that is actually not where I wanted to stop. I'm going to take you up here. Did you know that it's been over 8 days now that terrorists, yes, up north, kidnapped 8 NYSC corps members? It's nearly 10 days now. And it seems that a lot of you probably either didn't know, or like many other horrible stories coming out of Nigeria, you are just kind of not miffed. Anyway, these students, 2 of them that we've managed to kind of pick up their names. The first one is a Yoruba girl, and the other one is, I would believe, a Niger Delta girl called Glory Tukudo Thomas, right? They are among the kidnapped victims, or let me say the COP members. The NYSC in Nigeria probably don't know about this, or they just don't care because it won't be the first time and it won't be the last time too. So the kidnappers were demanding different ransom from the families of these Nigerians who are currently languishing in the hands of the terrorists up north. I'll come back and tell you more on that at a later time in this broadcast. Ladies and gentlemen, even though the news from America is that the Chicago State University would only release details of Tinubu as demanded by Atiku if the court says they should, because of confidentiality law or the secrecy or privacy law, kind of rule of theirs, which does not allow them to just release the details of their alumni, except if the court says so. However, from the few that has been kind of made public so far, it is now obvious that Tinubu's Chicago State University certificate that he submitted to INEC in Nigeria was forged, and the forgery and those involved, right? Even with those who are currently part of, who are named in this investigation, some of them have been popping up. Those who signed the fake certificates, the one that Kolu couldn't match together with either his date of birth, and whether he was born in 1952 or he was born in 1954, whether he was a girl or it was a boy. It's kind of a boy that got his data mixed up. All of these excuses are now coming to light to say, number one, take a look at this. Just 1 second though. So from what we heard, right, the person who signed the Tinubu's certificate, and for the record, by the way, in 1999, when Tinubu's forged certificate was an issue in court, Tinubu wrote at the time and said it was Tokunbo Afikuyomi. You remember Tokunbo Afikuyomi, who later became a senator? Right. So Tinubu said Tokunbo Afikuyomi was the one who filled his governorship, sort of a governorship candidacy form or something like that. Right? That he didn't fill it. It was Tokunbo Afikuyomi who filled the form for him. And it was Tokunbo Afikuyomi who made mistakes with the schools he went, primary schools or secondary or university, and the dates. That was his excuse around that time until he managed to use immunity of governor. You cannot sue him and he cannot sue you, right? To get out of the hook with Gani Fawehinmi at the time. But today, Tinubu is no longer blaming Tokunbo Afikuyomi. Tinubu is blaming the clerk of the Chicago State University for mixing up his education documents. However, when did things started changing? What Atiku wanted to unravel in America is that this Tinubu, okay, is not the same Tinubu that went to Chicago University. Not just that, it is a complete, sort of a complete farce, false, fraud. Somebody that should actually be arrested and jailed for what he's done. But Tinubu is also telling them in America that don't mind him, he's just fishing. It's absolute nothing. It has whatever he's looking for has nothing to do with the tribunal case in Nigeria. Nobody is even taking any evidence anymore. So Atiku is just fishing, chasing shadow, and then just for clout chasing. So Tinubu told the court not to let Chicago State University release those documents. Meanwhile, Atiku just wanted to know what documents, what qualifications, what kind of other things did the female bat or the male bat submitted in gaining admission into this school. There must be some documents he submitted. That's all he wanted to see, not whether he graduated there or not. That one is kind of, argumentative. But let's check. Is this person the same person who actually came to your school and finding that he wanted to be a student here and then graduated? Could you show us the document of his student application? That's what they wanted to bring out, because it's obvious that except if it is actually a typo, clerical error, the Bola A. Tinubu that went to Chicago State University was a female, a girl, and it is not a random name, by the way. The Tinubu name you are hearing, there is an uncle to Tinubu's adopted mother, Gafaru Tinubu. Gafaru Tinubu, now let me explain that to you. Gafaru Tinubu, a former police officer, right, happened to be this, the senior brother to Abibatu Mogaji. Abibatu Mogaji happened to be a local women leader politician from Lagos State who adopted Tinubu as a son. And by then, his name was Amodashon Golere and the rest of that, okay? So when he got adopted, it was put under the care, kind of like the guardianship of that Gafaru Tinubu. So when they changed his name, they just gave him, I believe, that was when they named him Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But unfortunately, that same Baba Gafaru Tinubu also had a daughter, a girl, named Bola A. Tinubu. Now, Bola A. Tinubu, a 24-year-old girl who went to the United States of America for university education, on record, suddenly disappeared from all record. Yes, her record was completely like non-existent. Immediately, there is a Bola Ahmed Tinubu who just miraculously appeared at the Chicago O'Hare Airport in 1975, 1976 with a one-way ticket from Nigeria. That was the moment the history of Tinubu started having record. That was the moment the life of Tinubu that you are seeing today started having real record. that you can actually attach to a paper and say, okay, Bola Tinubu, you are Bola Tinubu. Okay, yeah, I'm Bola Tinubu. So what they are trying to figure out now is that is it true that every application that actually got Bola A. Tinubu into Chicago State University back then, was that of a girl? Or was it of this Bola Tinubu? So the story long, Sha, but according to Tinubu, whatever una like, me una talk. Even if you like talk, say I be what do you call it? A she man, I be she woman, whatever you want. It doesn't matter anymore. I am the president of Nigeria. So you cannot do whatever, anything is not going to change that. So he went to the US and told them, don't release my document. Don't. Because it's useless. It's not useful to them anyway. It's just that they just want to use it to embarrass me. Some people are now saying, why would you not want your... So when they were digging, this is the certificate that Tinubu submitted to INEC. Look at it very well. It is fake. Okay? But look at the signature on it. They figure out who are those who signed the documents. They said, 1. Meanwhile, okay, if I show you fake, I have to show you original, B. Now, this is original. If you graduated from the Chicago State University, this is what will be issued to you. Okay? So, now, when they contacted the Chicago State University of whether Tinubu graduated there, this is what they sent to them. That, of course, he graduated now. So if he graduated and his name was on there, Bachelor of Science, whatever, right? Why did he have to forge a signature? I mean, so why did he have to forge a certificate to give the one he gave to INEC? This one on your screen is the one Tinubu submitted to INEC in Nigeria. It is fake, right? But the original sent by the Chicago State University showed that Bola A. Tinubu graduated in their university. This is the original. So if you are the original, why did you submit fake? So these are the 2 women that have been figured to have signed the Tinubu certificates, the fake certificates. The first one that Tinubu used in 1999 was signed by this woman. The second one Tinubu used in 2023 was signed by this woman. And this is now kind of becoming more embarrassing, like kind of. But that's just what it is, yeah? So we are going to wait till September before we know who is Bola A. Tinubu and who is Tinubu. And then we can quickly put it in the book of history and say, wow, this is the true story of this drug lord. Anything they wrote about him that they are trying to paint him white or is a pure criminal. Children, this is the real book you will buy. We will write books that will put all these facts in them and will spread them, will give them to children. History that they must know before you paint them with your No, we won't let you do that. Now, going forward, guys, you have seen all of their ministers, and somebody did this to show that, well, out of 45 ministers of Tinubu, their age, their whatever, and all that, somebody did that, and where they came from, okay? But I am going to leave that to go to this. See this lady, her name is Musawa. Apapa na Babalawo Afa. You know those all these Afas that they will say, Alemula, Mula, something, you know, when they are like all these old men, old Afas, kind of, but political Afas in northern Nigeria. Musawa, very influential. And when I say influential among politicians, when they go to northern Nigeria, they have to see him. Is an old senile man, like old. We be saying, you know, like kind of old, like about 90 or 100, kind of. But he's very influential. His daughter, Musawa, I don't remember the second name. Here you get. She happened to be a member of APC, Egbekegbe. and rightly so. When Tinubu, Tinubu is kind of rewarding everybody that he believes that played one role or the other and all that. So she got one, but unfortunately, she's still serving. And according to Nigeria law, okay, if you must serve Nigeria as NYSC if you want to be a politician in Nigeria, except if you receive a waiver. Sure, you get. If you want to be a politician in Nigeria, you must serve in NYSC, or there are waivers. So if you are 30 plus, I think, and then you graduate, you won't need to serve, except if you want to. All right, voluntarily, you don't have to. And then if you have a medical problem and all that, you don't have to. Okay, even though as the insecurity in Nigeria has deteriorated even more, when these graduating or youth corpers, they are called, going on to serve across Nigeria and all that, because of this increased insecurity in Nigeria, a lot of people have been calling for the scrapping of the whole exercise. Like, just scrap it. You see, you know what I mean? Like, it has kind of lost its relevance. It has lost its value. Children so the graduates can no longer be protected. So scrap it. But the rich don't have to serve, by the way. Okay. Unfortunately, those who kind of still take up the they say call up letter to where? To go and serve in Sokoto, to go and serve in Zamfara, to go and serve where? Serve Nigeria. To serve Nigeria is not by force. You will know it later. You will know it later. So you see that Musawa, she got appointed as a minister, and they did all the background check. You believe, Abi? They did all the background check, did all of this and all of that. Then they cleared her. She is under 50. She could get a waiver. Do you understand? She could just say, listen, I am 45 years old or I'm 47 years old. I can no longer serve. You don't have to forge it. So you know what she did? She forged the certificate to show that she's already served as part of her credential. Excuse me. Even though she's listed as one of the youth corpers that are serving right now. So she broke the law. She won't be the first. And that became the talk of the town. I said, well, what do you want to do? Welcome to the lawless Nigeria. You're going to see crimes that at the end of the day, you are going to be like, that one no be big crime. That one is not big. This one, well, let's leave that one. You are going to get used to the criminality that are now going to become legalized before all of you. It's always been like that. It's just never this bad. Abi, it's going to get worse. So for those who have been kind of worried, waiting be this, waiting, you know what I mean? It is happening. The NYSC came out today to say, listen, she is still serving a COP member. So what happened next? Remove her. No, you can't remove her. She's the daughter of Babalawo Afa. Not those Afa. We say, oh, this one Afa, Buno, this Afa also. That Baba, if that Baba pray for you, if that Baba say you go be president, you'll be president. You know, those kind of Baba, we say they will say he has friends, he has presidents, generals, as you know, that thing, Nigerian thing, right? That's why she's the minister today, not because of any other thing. All right? And she's a culture minister who has no culture of being honest. So I don't know what you make of that. Okay? So if you ask me why I don't trust the system, I say, listen, look at those who are in charge of the system. How could you trust those who are so dishonest? Right? Those who are so dishonest with little things. Right? That you can say, why do you have to lie about that? Why did you have to lie about this? Why did you have to, you know what I mean? You don't have to, you can't trust people like that. But if you do, it's going to be at your own peril. That's what they say. Abi? Now, going forward a little bit further, I stumbled on a video and it breaks my heart a little bit. Not because it is new, but simply because the ruin, the underdevelopment of Nigeria caused by these glutinous kleptocrats is more pronounced now And no matter what they say to you, Nigeria is not progressing. I'm saying this because, I mean, how could you, in this 2021, have this kind? I'll show you something though. This time it's somewhere around there though, and they call it Federal Road. I'll show you first before I continue on it. Yeah.
Stated otherwise, that the...
I think that's the other one.
I warned May Day this year that
this road is too bad for a long time.
Dejected and stressed can best describe how these commuters feel after being stuck for several hours on the Benin-Ekuma Auchi-Okene Express Road. A journey of few hours now stretches for days even, as vehicles are trapped in gridlock occasioned by the several field portions on the federal highway which links Edo to the northern part of Nigeria. It will gladden their hearts if the relevant authorities, in this case the Nigerian government, addresses the problem, which is also wreaking havoc on their vehicles.
My engine gone now. For insight.
Residents of Ekuma and Eastern West local government area dread the rainy season as it aggravates the bad situation they have found themselves. The deplorable condition of the axis has drastically affected their businesses and means of livelihood.
Look at my little soil that I'm managing. It's affecting us. If I do anything over a tank or gate, I cannot take it to the destination where I'm going. Please, they should come and help us.
A whole federal road is like this. It's not good. And there are government there. Are they not seeing it? They are seeing it. They should come and do it. This is the public road.
Not be only Hausa road, not be only Igbo road, not be only Bendel road, not be only Yoruba. More of places where they for Nigeria, they use this road. And I had a big government to repair them.
The Benin-Saple-Warri Road connects the state to the south-south and the Niger Delta region. What began as cracks on the surface has since grown into deep pools. Protests to draw the attention of the federal government appear not to have yielded any visible results.
If this road is good, what are we fighting for the masses? Good road, water, and light. That's what we are fighting for. Look at the other developed country. You see the way they are developing their country. They are looking for power, not road you are talking about now.
I want to village market to buy yam. Do you know how much I pay for transport fare? We are not finding this funny at all. In short, it's giving us headache. Anybody that is in charge of it should please come to our aid.
Already now playing the enter. We were the useless, we not get money. Mercy the pity for us. For the dear. This or the dear. Who go say Gary not go say oh dear.
However, worried by the suffering these strong A roads have brought on the people, the state government says it attempted to carry out remedial works but was prevented.
Auchi-Ibilo Road was so bad, some of our contractors could not go to their quarry sites. We say, okay, please let us undertake the palliative on that road so that at least they can go and get aggregates for work. They said, no, we can't touch those roads because the road is a federal road and it's already under contract. What do we do? Even when I say, okay, I want to go and fix Ministerial Road now, I'm not allowed to. Because first, it's not our road. Secondly, federal government claims that they have already given out the road and to a contractor. So I cannot go and do anything about the road. So we're in a very difficult situation in Edo.
That is how they play the people in Nigeria. There are federal roads, there are state roads, there are local government roads. So when you see the local government road and say, why is this road so bad? They will say, now state road though. Here you get. I will say, but what about your own local government? Say about we don't get money, states don't give us money. Local government money goes to the states, joint account. When you see the states, I say, what about this? I say, but you know, the federal government is not giving us enough money. And therefore, that's why we couldn't really do that. What about this other? No, those ones are federal roads. Then when you talk to the federals too, you will realize that your different political leaders from your different part of Nigeria, they are the contractors who got the contracts, but they didn't get them to do them. So they play the people that uses the roads, the people that uses the old facilities and all of them infrastructures. They are not divided as federal people, state people, and local people. They are supposed to be Nigerians, you would say. It is the same mentality of when they tell you Niger Delta oil. And look at that place. So this is meant to be the Edo state. From Edo going to, from Ondo state to Edo, from Edo to Delta, from Delta, go on like that to Port Harcourt, to Rivers, from Rivers to Bayelsa. All those places were supposed to be the UAE of Nigeria, the Dubai of Nigeria, better than Dubai, because these areas are not deserts. These are beautiful, greenery, vegetarian areas. Their life could be so good. But their resources have become more or less like the cost on them. So the resources in Niger Delta that could fix those roads, build standard 21st century highways, they can't get any better life because their resources belong to Nigeria. Yeah, it's Nigeria. They have to use the money from there. But there's a video that came out it's not new, but the video came out just today. And it's about the Zamfara gold. I have told you stories, gave you evidence, fact of what was going on in Zamfara and still going on in Zamfara on many occasions, several occasions, right? I said, right before our very eyes, the criminal politicians from that place empowered terrorists. They empowered Fulani terrorists, okay, who were there to chase the farmers out of their farms because they could take over their land for gold, illegal mining, or should I say illegal mining of gold. They have killed people, thousands of people. To celebrate the achievement, Matawale, then as their governor, bragged of the Zamfara gold on this street. Zamfara is second poorest state in Nigeria. If you start counting it from the back, Zamfara is number 2 poorest state in Nigeria. Worse off, the people there. The terrorism has collapsed the economy. Now, young, old, male, female, they are all gathered across the states on different illegal mining fields. The Nigerian government probably feels like they don't know anything about, but the truth is that this is Nigeria, and the owners of this place are Matawale Awevied, the former governor. What's that one? The one that wanted to be Senate president. What is that his name again? Remind me. Matawale, that one, and also one senator, they said, own this place in Nigeria where they are extracting the gold. Just like this.
Ina kimara biyu. Wa kun ga da ba wannan ne. Na aka canta kilo.
Bari in mun koma mu zo da sai.
Sagiru dan sagi. Shege ya san wuri mai kyau kenan.
Idan uba.
Kun ga yadda aka hatuwa da gara mai sallasa guntattaki.
Ba mu ba da kuɗi mu fasa mu bashi waccan Allah na.
Wace Allah ka?
A to shi kenan sai in bashi da rayuwa.
Ya rere. Kai, ba. Da ba ta kai da ba.
Did you see that? It's like the whole town. That used to be farmland, by the way. You see all those places they've dug, that used to be a whole farmland, farms everywhere. Most of the owners of the lands have been killed or chased to IDP camps, refugee camps in a far, far, far away land. There is no army, there is no soldier there. There is no, nothing. It's like everyday thing there. And as they're extracting the whole gold cross, wherever they are, they process that same on that land. And once they finish, they pack them and they take them outside Nigeria. That's not Congo Democratic, Congo DRC. I mean, the Congo DRO. That is Zamfara State in Nigeria, where children, young, old, male, female are there every day, seeing how much of the stones they can find so they can get paid a peanut, and they will return there tomorrow. And guess those behind it? The Minister of Defense of Nigeria, now the former governor of the state. So if you want to send anybody, if you want to report them, who are you going to report them to? The government, yeah? And who is the government going to send? The police or the military or what? Who is going to give the order? Now you do the math. Criminals have taken over. You will figure it out later. A lot of us. And as you have them as criminals up there, that also gives rooms to different impunities that also happen just within us. Intolerance, okay? Superiority complex or inferiority complex, whatever other complexes that people are suffering from, right? The impunity, the bullying continues as the criminals are bullying us. Those who have the religion, what do you call it, their own religion, the supremacy mentality, they are also bullying us too. I'm sorry if you don't understand Yoruba. I will do my best to come back and repeat this in English, by the way. But you know one thing, the intolerant jihadist Islamic madmen from Ilorin, they actually are so bold and confident that the system is for them. And Isheshe, Yoruba's tradition, Yoruba's religion would not by any means be allowed to represent the Yorubas. I mean, like, they are already arguing about it. They call Yorubas idol worshippers. You are worshiping idols. You are worshiping stones. You are worshiping water. It is against Allah. Even though we all go to Mecca to rally around the Kaaba, But no, that one is different. This inferiority and the rest of them are creeping in so bad that it will soon turn violence. Trust me. Because a lot of people are now kind of awake now. Okay? And this happened. I'll come back. Sorry if you don't understand Yoruba. It's so horrible. And it's so annoying that somebody speaking Yoruba, is this so raging and hateful towards the same Yoruba? And we have been told, maybe they are actually not Yoruba. I mean, why?
Lórí ọ̀rọ̀ ilé tẹ́ ṣe èmi àti òmọ́ra rí. Sẹ́yìn tó sọ́ọ̀bù ni. Mítìrì tẹ́ ń ṣe nu. Lákòó mọ́ àmú ẹ̀fún mi nígbà tí wọ́n wà ní lákòó. Tẹ́ bá ní àwo mínítì tẹ́ kọ́ wò, kò sẹ́ni tí ò bẹ́wọ́n ká fẹ́ràn sẹ́nu ká wá sí. Tẹ́ bá fẹ́ ṣe kí ni ẹ̀kọ́já sí jìnnà rẹ́rẹ́rẹ́rẹ́ kí jìnnà gan. Níjọ́ mẹ́jọ òní ẹ̀yin ilé aláràn ẹ lé wọn kúrò bí ẹ̀sán wọn fún wọn o. Ọlọ́run kẹ́ni ju kẹ́mọ́ gbowó olùsọ́ba yìí lọ. Ilé aláràn àjẹtì gbóná nù. Ẹ dáwọ́ padà kán kúrò mi tábà bá omi jọ mẹ́jọ bá ṣe wá ìkórè rọrùn o. Àjẹtì gbóná nù. Kò ní rọrùn o. Àjẹtì gbóná nù sẹ. Ìmọ̀rí lórí tó ń ṣe yìí. Mítì tẹ́ ń ṣe nu ẹ máa lọ́dà pé torí ìjà ká ti bò yín. Gbogbo ìta sọ commissioner of police mọ̀ nígbà tá a fẹ́ ṣe yìí. Ṣé ẹ máa pé kẹ́ bá ṣe mọ́ lọ́kàn àti gá àti gbogbo múmẹ́ntì yẹn la mọ̀. Ẹ kúrò mí yìí. Ẹ máa lọ ìlú. Tábà ibi jọ mẹ́jọ báwa la nílùú ni bẹ́yìn ẹja jọjọ́ o báwa ni bẹ́yìn ẹja tó ẹ mọ̀ pé àwọn èèyàn nǹkan sọ wọ́n níbi tí ẹ ti kó ìṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ilẹ̀ ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ tán fi lé yín. lọ́pọ̀ lọ́pọ̀ ti lé ọ ìṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ló ṣe pé kò wá wá síbi ẹ má jà bá ibi jọ mẹ́jọ o èmi sálà ẹ̀rẹ́dì wọ́n sọ fún mi pé àjọrọ̀ bá ibi níjọ lọ́ọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ ẹ tíráì mi wò. Ṣẹ́dọ́ tàbá tó ń pa ibi níjọ́ mẹ́jọ òní ẹ̀dẹ̀ wò kò sí ẹ̀ságbà àkẹ́tọ́ lè ṣàtọ́ ẹ̀dẹ̀ wò ilé alárìn ilé wọn o ilé alárìn ilé wọn àjọ̀rọ̀ bá wọn níjọ́ mẹ́jọ o sí yíla wò ó ní tá mú ó lè ní tá mú bọ̀ wá ló yẹ kẹ́yìn tẹ ìjára lílá ní kẹ́ ṣáájú náà tó tá a bá dàn kan bí wò ẹnì àgúrẹ́tà sọ fún yín àti pọn ilé tó bá yẹ ìyá lánàá lẹ́yìn eléyìí tó bá tún ṣe mítìnì ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ níbi ìyá lánàá níjọba ìjọ òní kó wọ́n tẹ̀ sí bí tó bá sí bí rárá tó bá sí rárá ẹ̀ka
TV ọlọ́run fẹ́ mọ̀ ta TV.
Sàlámà lẹ́kùn jama sàlámà lẹ́kùn ẹ̀dá òkúrọ̀ ọlọ́run sóbìnrin ta TV ni
obìnrin ò ta TV
sóbìnrin ta tẹlifíṣàn.
ìyá yìí bó lẹ́yìn ṣe jẹ́ bó lẹ́yìn ṣe jẹ́.
Kọ́lá ìlọ́rọ̀ kọ́kọ́ bá wọn sọ ní táwa fẹ́ láti sọ fún yín.
Did you see that? Okay, I'll explain it to you in case if you don't understand Yoruba. Some lunatics who claim to be Muslims, right? They went to a place where you can call it a business, where somebody is running his or a business, selling TVs. Meanwhile, right inside that same shop, which is a space that is our own, legal space that she paid for. So they got the hint that those who come into the shop, they are not just coming in to buy televisions, right? They are coming in to meet and discuss about Yoruba tradition and all that thing, Isheshe. So when they got the hint of that, these lunatics, they picked up sticks, stones, and they went there to go and warn them that, listen, we heard that the place you were before, it was this same Yoruba tradition, or Yoruba tradition that you are practicing there, that they told you to leave. Now you have come to this town, you are doing the same thing. We don't want any kind of a Yoruba tradition here. You can go back to the border town, to the border end of the town, go into the bush and practice your Yoruba tradition. Don't practice it here. And we are saying this for the last time. Initially, we are just thinking, we're just kind of respecting the landlord, the owners of this house or this shop. That is why we have not started destroying things. The next time we come back here in a week, if we come back here and we notice that you open this shop at all, don't even open this place anymore. We don't want you to do any business here anymore. If you open this shop, we will destroy this place. Because they are Muslims and others are Yoruba. In Yoruba land, and I have already seen these Saudi slaves, Yoruba Omuale Jatis, who have suddenly become the jihadists that they have been groomed to become. They have already said, can they try that nonsense in northern Nigeria? Yorubas tell you that they are from Nupe, Abitakpa, they are from Fulani or wherever they practice in northern Nigeria. Yorubas are on their own ancestral land, Yoruba land. You are telling them that can they practice that in the north? Whatever you are asking for, you will get it. Every generation comes with their own, with their own drive. And in this case, as you are grooming, thinking and growing, thinking that oppressive mentality that those before you kind of managed to get away with, that they will get away with that all the time. A lot of generations are rising up that are going to ask you, and that's exactly why you're having this all the time now. Like you're having it in your media. Yoruba's tradition or religion is something that every Yoruba son and daughter should be proud of. You don't even have to practice them. It is who you are. It is who we are. Now, if you have become a born again, nobody is arguing your religion with you. If you have become Islamic and the rest of that, you should respect who Yorubas are. And if those who are saying Yoruba Ronu, I actually have no idea. The majority of them are a bunch of political cowards or mualijati jatis. They are much like stronger when they have people to hate on. The Igbos, But look at this happening in Yoruba land, the audacity, the effrontery. But guess what? Because they are mostly bunch of Yoruba coward or muali jati, who are very bold in using this same Yoruba to defend the criminals, political rogues who have sold Yoruba off, just like peanuts. If there's anything that should enrage you, this is actually the top of it. But no, a lot of you have been enslaved by all this religion as well. You can clap for them, but I showed you, especially now that a lot of people can see through the antics, the threats, keeping them out, keep them coming. Rather, at least a generation that is going to tell you you are dealing with the wrong one this time around. They will soon be here to show that to you. But enjoy it while it lasts. Intolerance, in Yoruba land, somebody telling you as a Yoruba man, Agbado Lola, you must not come back to this place tomorrow because of your Isheshe. And there is no rage. There is no kind of, where are those leaders, Yoruba leaders that always have opinion on things? How come it's so difficult for them to have opinion on this now? Or is it, okay, I guess the OPC don't say they are also taking it up as well. But well, talking about the mullahs, Niger Republic has now kind of expelled Nigeria ambassador to Niger Republic. Not just Nigerian ambassador. They have expelled the American, French, German, and most of these European ambassadors, European countries' ambassadors to Niger. Because Kolu said is now using the last card of his diplomatic channel with Niger. Remember from day one, their demand was that the junta must release the captured president and release him, not just release him, return him back to power. And that's their demand. The junta said, no, we have already crossed that bridge. We are not going back on it. And you will never make us do that. Well, if that should be the case, there is going to be an invasion. So Kolu called a meeting. And he was telling all the mullahs from northern Nigeria, like, listen, I know some people have already started campaigning that I am attacking Niger. And I'm going to cause civil war there. And any attack on Niger is attack on northern Nigeria. But listen, guys, it's not even just me anymore. In fact, I am the one holding back the other countries from invading Niger Republic. That's what he said. He told them, he said, I am the one holding them back. But for the last time, could you please go and tell these guys that we are not giving them ultimatum and we are not waiting for 3 years. We want them to return Bazoum to power and hand over to him and then disappear. And after this, if they say no, fine. Whatever happened after, let everybody kind of deal with it. That's Tinubu's message. So yeah, these guys, while they were waiting to board their plane 2 nights ago to Niger, they received the message from the junta that says, we don't want to have any relationship with Nigeria anymore. They cut off tie with Nigeria. They expelled Nigeria ambassador, possibly somebody from northern Nigeria, and then they'd be ambassador to Niger. So they've sent the ambassador of Nigeria out of Niger Republic. American ambassador and the rest of them leave. Which still kind of borders on the wahala is pretty much inevitable. Okay? And for the last time, the mullah believe that they can still change their mind and there will be no war, in their own words.
Honorable Minister, sir, may we know what has transpired between...
You see that guy? That's the new Minister of Information, oh. Look at his face very well, oh. He's already fighting with Obaseki. He hasn't shown as a good liar, but the first time you see his face on MaiyegunsDiary, Politico, and him talking, after they swear for him as Minister of Information, replacing Liar Mo. See his face.
Honorable Minister, sir, may we know what has transpired between the President and them in the meeting?
Well, yes, as you have said, the Council of Ulamas have returned to the President for the second time to give a report on their ongoing dialogue with the military junta and other stakeholders in Niger Republic. They have briefed Mr. President about the situation, and the effort is still ongoing. Mr. President has listened to them, They will continue this dialogue. Mr. President is interested in exploring peaceful options in this, but nothing is off the table. He has asked the ulamas to continue their dialogue, and they will continue to do that.
Okay, what is the next line of action?
Well, the next line of action is that dialogue will continue. Mr. President, as the head of ECOWAS, is interested in pursuing peaceful resolution of this crisis. But like I said, nothing is off the table. Mr. President has said he should continue to engage, and the ulamas will continue to do that. By the way, he has appreciated their effort to finding solution to this issue. He's encouraging them to continue, and he has thanked them, and efforts are ongoing.
Sheikh, sir. This is another attempt from you to look for a lasting solution between ECOWAS and a Republic of Niger. What direction are you taking now?
Alhamdulillah, wa sallallahu wasallam ala nabiyina Muhammad wa alihi wa sahbihi wa man walahum bi ihsani ila yawmiddin. First and foremost, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving us the opportunity, and we appreciate and we commend the effort of His Excellency the President. And as you see, we have just met with him, and we told him all what went there in Niger, and he appreciated, and he still give us the mandate that we should continue to take this dialogue and discuss with those junta over there, because they gave us listening ear, and we are sure through peaceful discussion we'll be able to achieve what we want. And we are still going back there to ensure that through amicable way, through peaceful way, as spiritual leaders, we'll be able to do and contribute what we can be able to do. What we want is, we don't want war. We want peace to reign in our region. So may Allah continue to bless His Excellency the President for giving us this opportunity. And we want serious prayers, fervent prayers from the entire, community across the region, so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will grant us that, so that peace and harmony will continue to reign. Without peace and harmony, nothing can do. You cannot even enjoy the dividend of democracy, and you cannot even practice your religion. And I'm optimistic, inshallah, with this intervention, Allah will answer our prayers. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The mullah is confident that with prayers, the junta in Niger Republic would listen to Tinubu and just walk away and put Bazoum back to power. No, it doesn't work that way. Okay. And if, every day the junta continue to gain ground and gain ground and gain ground, the Lagos Bakus, they have already kind of drawn out a Niger Republic map. And according to them, you see, Niger Republic map be like this, kind of like that, but with a tiny neck. So here, something like that. Okay, so you see this tiny here. This is Niamey, the country's capital. You see that tiny neck here? It's just like a passage to the bigger part of Niger that makes up the whole country. Lagos Bakus are asking Tinubu to cut the neck. What they meant by that is that the Nigerian army should go straight and go and block that passage within Niger Republic and choke the junta, the military junta, into Niamey, face them there without having to affect the rest of Niger. But, well, oh yeah, collect his sauce, oh yeah, cut them off, cut off the neck, because it's so kind of easy, isn't it? We'll find out soon. So let everybody continue to play the card of, yeah, we can get it all done and all that, when what you are doing is called meddling. You are meddling in the affairs of another sovereign country, and you want to show the big brother what of you to your own puppet masters, and then that's called meddling. And if you F around, you find out. That's what they say, you know. You faff around, you find out. So Nigeria will find out. So back in Nigeria, where the subsidy is currently being packaged for food, somewhere in Oshodi, for Greater Oshodi, fuel subsidy remover. Somebody received their own package, by the way. See the meaning.
Àwọn olóṣì palliative wọ́n ní kó wá gba palliative kásẹ̀ Greater Oshodi. Àwọn ìyá oníyà bí àwọn nǹkan tó wà ń bẹ̀. Ẹ wò látàgbé méje lẹ́lòmíì ti lọ. Ẹ wò ìyá ọdún mẹ́rin lélẹ́yìí another 4 years. Ẹ wò palliative olóbùkún wọn 5 billion àbí 50 billion lélẹ́yìí. Ẹ wò result 50 billion. Ẹ wò àwọn káwọn ìyá oníyà ń kó bòkó local government. Ẹ ní kúure o ṣẹ́rí. Ẹ wò Greater Oshodi.
For those who have received their own, that voice you heard is about a beneficiary. She's not a beneficiary, by the way. She's kind of complaining that old men and women who went to the secretariat to go and queue from 7 in the morning, they got beaten, whipped by the police and the soldier. They beat them up only to end up giving them that she's shown on the screen, right? Rice, beans, and ororo. But they're going to do it next month too. I think they're going to do that for 6 months, they said. Or you just going to collect what they give you right now because you may never see them again. Obaseki was talking about the same subsidy money. I mean,
I warned May Day this year that we've come to the end of the road. The old economic order in Nigeria has now expired. We have to come up with a new one. We should stop deceiving ourselves. Now subsidy is gone. The exchange rates have been aligned. So the era of free money has almost come to an end. But the consequences are that the weakest and the most vulnerable in our society, unfortunately, will carry quite a huge part of the burden of these policies. I'm shocked that people who campaigned around the country saying that they were going to remove subsidy had no clear plans on what to do to support those who will be victims of this subsidy removal. I'm really, really shocked and scared about what we're going through today, where the government doesn't seem to have a plan to respond to the consequences of the policy measures it has taken. But for us in Edo State, we will not abandon you. We don't like the word palliative. We'll rather use the words like support to support those who will be victims of these policy measures. We'll work with you, NUP, to see how we can, particularly those who retired with very low terminal wages. I agree with you. We must look at consequential adjustments. And give me 30 days, we'll come up with. I'm not doing you a favor. It is your right. If, with the way they have mismanaged our national economy, we have to deal with inflation above 20-25%. It therefore means that whatever we're paying you today can barely do much for you. So the realistic thing to do, if you really believe in God, is to make sure that you put yourself in the positions of those who you are paying and see how you will feel if something is not done. And if God has given you the power and the authority to do something, then it's only proper for you to try to do something.
That's the part I like. I'm not doing you any favor. It's your right. Nigerian politicians always feels like they are doing you a big favor. And say, you know, just trying to help you when they are robbing you. Unfortunately, the people themselves are not better, especially when it comes to even making decisions in, you know. So yeah, it would give them more money in a way to help. Anyway, that's on the side. The effect of the subsidy removal has further exposed, right, the vulnerability of Nigerians economically. And the criminal politicians are not actually in any way finding means of fixing that. Rather, they are opening doors or windows everywhere of how to kind of take advantage of it, you will say. And that is why when they came out with these new statistics that shows that Nigeria is almost at a full employment, can you even believe that? In 2023, Nigeria Bureau of Statistics, National Bureau of Statistics in Nigeria, is verifying who has job and who has no job by going on the street to ask people. In 2023, yes, that's what they are doing. Because I think people will tell you, I mean, they pay us to go to the field and ask people. And what are the questions they were asking people to know those who have jobs and those who don't have jobs? Hey, hello. Have you worked an hour? Have you done anything for like an hour that you get paid for in the last 1 week? Say, yeah. I helped them. I helped my neighbor to wash his car. And he gave me 500 naira. Oh, okay. You are employed. And that's the question they were asking people. Survey. Go on the streets. Sorry, my sister, you are doing alabaro. You are a kaya abi. Okay. So how many hours do you work in a week to do this kaya? I work from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. in the evening. Wow. And do you do that every day? Yes, including Sunday. Oh my God, that's like doing 12 hours a day. So you are doing 12 hours a day. Alabaru, 12 hours a day. Yes, sir. How much do you make in that time? Well, after I eat and after, at least I still make about 1,000 naira, 1,500 naira a day. Oh my God. You are the people we are looking for. So you have job now. You are making 1,000 a day for being alabaru for 12 hours. Then you have job. Because by record, by standard, you are making 1,000 naira a day. 30 days, that is 30,000 naira. Okay, that is minimum wage. But we never recorded you as employed. What about your friends who are also doing alabaru? Do you know them, how they work? Yes. How many are you? In this market alone, we are about 2,000. We do alabaru. 2,000 employed in this market alone. How many markets is in Lagos? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1,500 markets. Oh my God. 2,000 people times 2,500 markets. And you are all making 30,000 naira a day. You are all employed. And before you know it, Nigeria is almost at full employment right now. And Lagos APC, the APC, some of them jobless. So Bambi allow beggars on social media and offline. Oh. So when the MBS released the stat and said it is only 8.5 million Nigerians that are unemployed. Oh my God. You know what? Oh my God. Is it oh my? No, not like that. Let me do it again. You'll be like, 4.1% Nigerians are unemployed. 4.1% Americans are unemployed. 3.8% Canadians are unemployed. 4% British are unemployed. Nigeria, 4.1% unemployed. Oh my God. They are doing, oh my gosh, this must be a miracle. The same people who told you that the inflation in Nigeria is 24%. Is that true? Is the inflation in Nigeria 24%? Are they not repeating that everywhere you go? Are the media not repeating that? Are the politicians not repeating 24%? 20% inflation? Are the economists who are there as economists in your Nigeria economy, are they not repeating 24%? In reality, is the inflation in Nigeria 24%? Is it 24%? The inflation in Nigeria is over 200%. But they say their own rating, there's a standard they used to measure it. There's a standard they used to measure it. There's this is okay, oh, inflation is 24%. And Turkey inflation is over 70%. But people who are living in Turkey, Nigerians who are living in Turkey, they are still paying the house rent, school fees, and other subsidy money for their family members back in Nigeria. Their own inflation is about 70% too. Struggling, and then, they can tell you, those who are living in Turkey will tell you what that simply means on them. But nevertheless, you we get 24% inflation in Nigeria, you do Bambi allow on social media. How many Turkish people you have you seen online begging people to help them pay the school fees, beg them to so that they can feed their family, so that they can eat, if not in days now, because they are lying to you. And that's why I said, whatever economic jargons they are saying to you, now you know better, okay? So they are saying that 4.1% of you are, just 8 million of you are unemployed. But that is on the one hand. Just a few days ago, they also said they want to lift 133 million of you out of poverty. So if 133 million are living in poverty and only 8.5 million people are unemployed, Baba, who are those they want to lift out of poverty? Togolese, Yabi, Beninois, Yabi, Ghanaians. Because even if you add all of this together, they have not even reached 140 million. So maybe they will add the Nigerians and the Malians and then the Burkina babes too. Because Nigerians are fine. Okay? If you have job and you are doing something, at least that means you are okay. You have job. So you shouldn't be poor. Okay? But it's because it's all lies. They will cook you. Oh dear. They will cook you. To the point that you'll be asking yourself that, are they talking about this same Nigeria? This one, where are they inside right now? This one, say now, Nigeria, congratulations. You are doing well. Because they are so shameless and they will force it on you. And like they say, all they need to do is to continue to repeat it and repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. And then before you know it, they'll begin to believe it too. Even when realistically, you are all in a hole. The whole math, God bless you, the whole math is not mathing anymore. The whole mathematics is not mathematicsing anymore. Inflation, 24%. You know what that means? May I explain that to you? If to say your inflation in Nigeria is 24%, before these criminals came in, they said inflation in Nigeria was about 7.5%. Before these criminals came in, Bokwari, it was a 5.5%, single digit. They said single digit, 5%. That was 2015. When these criminals came in, it started jumping. They started using the fake figure, 11%, 14%. Inflation just dropped by 1%, 13%. Our inflation just gone up again, 20%. They are playing with your brains. But when we go to the streets, in 2015, when these criminals came in, okay, with inflation, a bag of rice in Nigeria was 7,500 naira. See how that sounded? Bag rice on 7.5. Does that not sound to you like I'm talking about 1980 or 1960 in today's Nigeria? This was just 8 years ago. A bag of rice was 7,500 naira with inflation. Today, a bag of rice in Nigeria is almost 50,000 naira. So, inflation, if inflation is 24%, 24% is 7.5. What is 24% of 7,500? In fact, what is 50% of 7,500 naira? That should be 3,700 and something, Abi, 750. 3,750 naira. That should, if the inflation is 50%. So which means a bag of rice should be somewhere around 11,000 naira by now. Even if the inflation is 50%, it should be around 11,000. But they will be telling you, no, that's not economics. Economics of upper GDP, GDP to ratio income. Speak your grammar, finish up. The truth is that a bag of rice is now times 5. Times 5 means is 500% inflation, 500%. The money you will use to buy one bag of rice in Nigeria today, you will use that same one to buy 5 bags of rice 8 years ago. So it's 24% inflation here. Here is another one. 24% inflation. A liter of petroleum with inflation, with foreign exchange and blah, 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 inflation. A liter of petroleum was 87 naira per liter 8 years ago. So if the inflation that has caused everything to go up is 24%, share from 87 naira to 700 naira per liter, share 24% in here. Is that 24%? Because if it is 24% inflation, as they are telling you, on everything, let's even say 50% inflation. 50% inflation means a liter of petrol in Nigeria today should not cost more than 130 naira per liter. The most, 130. That is the inflation of 50%. But today, a liter of petrol is over 600 naira per liter in Nigeria. But they are telling you inflation is 24%. Now, the same character, the same rogues have come out to say, now only 4.1% of you no get job. And they say that's the international standard, mi ugbori. Mi ugbori. In this country, right, in this UK, we have those who don't have money to take care of themselves. For real. As the economy, they go hard, even here in the UK. Once they tell you that inflation don't go up by, if they say inflation has gone up by 2%, now die you. That 2% simply means some businesses have already started suffering and some people are going to become jobless. Within that same system, if you now fall along the line, that announcement, when they say 2% inflation, 1.5% inflation, 2% interest, businesses, they die. Jobs could they lost, and they know. So the moment people start falling off, they fall into benefit baskets. And in this country, you have a lot of people who rely and depends on the benefit from the government. Okay? They have all their numbers. They will never, for any reason, quote the number of those the government is paying, they are giving money to as benefits. There are people who they collect benefits in this country. Their benefit is more than those of us who are working. Seriously. You will see some people where they collect up to like £4,000 every month as benefit on them and their children, or health benefit, or this benefit or that benefit from the state. UK will never add them to employed people and say, Shebi, they have enough money, we are paying them. So in order for us to work and balance those who have lost their jobs and those who need jobs, let us just add these people to it and say, we are paying all of them too. At least they are paying them. They are paying them money. That's what these criminals have done in Nigeria. Do you think by just coming out to say 4.1% Nigerians are unemployed, but 140 million Nigerians are living in extreme poverty? If the population of Nigeria is 210 million, and only 70 million have managed to put their head above water, 140 million are living in abject poverty. So what does that tell you? Where is the figure of 4.1% unemployed comes to play? In America, today, their own unemployment rate is currently around 4.1% as well. Okay? But it simply tells you, you can tell, where are those jobs? Where did they come from? Who are those who are collecting those pay that say they are workers, they are working? Then you will see it on their book and say, okay, if only 4.1% Americans are jobless right now, not working, right? It simply means that more than 90% Americans who are eligible to work are currently working. What does that tell you? It simply means more money for the government of America. If you have over 200 million people who are working, paying taxes in America, that's a lot of money for America. In Nigeria, if you say only 4.1%, let's say you are supposed to have at least 180 million people who are eligible to work. Now, in this instance, over 40% of them who are supposed to have jobs, in fact, over 60% of them are jobless. So for you to solve the joblessness problems, right, cook the figure, okay, and say, oh, they actually have jobs, Charade, they just don't know that they have jobs. Only 4.1% no get job like America. But where is the money? The tax money from those who have the jobs, if they're actually real jobs, that should show up in your return as government and say, look at how many people working. Look at all their taxes. The taxes of 180 million Nigerians who work genuinely, paying them to Nigeria will never make Nigeria to be using 98% of its own revenue to service debts. Nearly 100% of Nigeria revenue. Very small. It has shrunk. The moment the joblessness in Nigeria skyrocketed, tens of thousands of businesses died in 8 years. Millions of jobs were lost. You see, when all these things happened, businesses, jobs, Nigerian government lost revenue. Buhari's government lost revenue, no tax, no nothing. Until when they started going there borrowing and people are going sorrowing. So if your people get job and you don't cook the number, or you show working, show the figure of how many of them that have paid the tax, because you know it's not true. It is not. And it is a matter of time, by the way. So yeah, people are questioning that, and people are questioning so many things. And I like that. I do. It's a matter of time they can lie to themselves again and again and again. But the truth of the matter is that when it's time for them to show workings, like Buhari, they will have nothing to show, but they will blame you. They will call you names. They will call us names, enemies. They always think, say, he must fail. They always must say, can you go? Now, you know what I mean? Like, they will blame us. They will say, because we are criticizing them, we shouldn't have. We should be praying for them. Like, Kumuyi advised, madman. Sure you get? So they will come around and say, maybe we didn't pray enough. Or maybe we have criticized them too much. Maybe because we also said that they will never succeed. Or maybe because we didn't want them to succeed anyway, so they will turn around and blame you. I've been there before. I just thought I should tell you. You cannot cook fake figures to fix joblessness in Nigeria. You cannot cook fake figures to solve poverty problems in Nigeria. You cannot use propaganda to rule a country that has completely been so damaged. No propaganda can fix that. And within it, it's a matter of time before the whole thing will be completely out of control. I strongly believe that. So I'll leave you to it, okay? And I'm thinking I should take calls. I'm also thinking that we could possibly just wait till tomorrow, okay? I'm sorry. I should just be kind of upbeat about it and say, okay, no, we're not taking calls, or we're taking calls. I usually be that kind of dramatical towards the end of the program, but that's me. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. If you join midway, you can watch this from the start again, okay? And if you have been with me all night anyway, right? The best 2 hours, like the broadcast, share it, okay? Subscribe to my channel. The next time I'm here, right? We'll have our own one-on-one, the usual, okay? Where we can call in. So thank you, and all of you. Good night.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. MaiyegunDiary Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. MaiyegunDiary Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí. MaiyegunDiary Maiyegun number one. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. MaiyegunDiary Maiyegun number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí. MaiyegunDiary Maiyegun number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. MaiyegunDiary Maiyegun number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Maiyegun máa wí. MaiyegunDiary Maiyegun number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. sẹ́ o kẹgbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Maiyegun Diary na you be number one.
àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun Diary na you be number one.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé.
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
lórí Facebook.
Maiyegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Maiyegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.
wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. oníkanṣá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.
kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣà ìtú wọn síta.